Greetings YouTube, welcome to Zero AD Newbie Rush. I'm Jim Cogan and here we are in the first of what are going to be a slightly strange series of games because I'm recording them well in advance of my house move which is about to happen. I come to you surrounded by boxes and all kinds of chaos prior to the move, but we are guaranteed episodes of Zero AD Newbie Rush for the next 2 weeks, which I will be getting done in a hurry over the next 2 days. And I think it's going to be the Sunday games and a couple of midweek games because people have been wonderfully sending me in 1v1s and 2v2s and the sort of thing for midweek duels. So there will be some of those. I will probably put all of the videos up on YouTube as premieres in advance, just to make sure that if I end up without internet for longer than I'm expecting, that they will still get basically broadcast on the day and at the time they're supposed to. So you'll be able to see all those. But yeah, that's it basically. You will hopefully not see any break in the schedule for Zero AD Newbie Rush. We'll carry on going. With any luck, if I get some time and I get things sorted out quickly, I might spruce up some of the channel branding. It's about time I did a new trailer for the channel as well, because I've still got the old one with the original theme music and all sorts. But that will all be happening. Only other thing to note is we have had minor update to the NRock mod. You can see we are in version 0.9.7. I believe that fixed one or two things, but probably nothing majorly noticeable in this one. But it still looks cool, so there we go. Thanks to Langbart for that again. Right, so we're on a 4v4. We're on a large mainland map. I'm just looking through the list of players. I can't remember if I've ever covered any of these players before. I might have done Wild in the yellow there once before, but it was a long time ago, probably Alpha 23. Let's assume that we've never seen any of these players before. It's going to be exciting. Let's check it out and let's get straight into it. Here we are then, 4v4. It's large mainland map. It looks temperate. We always seem to get temperate. The trees look particularly temperate. Let's go through and see our players. So team 1 in the north. First off, in the red, Eric Rojo or Rojo. I'm going to call him Eric Rojo because it sounds sort of Latin and funky. Eric Rojo playing as the Iberians, rated 1211, so a player with a similar rating to mine. We'll see how Eric Rojo does. Iberians, pretty strong civ in Alpha 24, very defensive on the flank here, so good to have the walls. We'll see how Eric Rojo does. Let's move along. In the blue we have Cyber Jake Morians, another strong civ in Alpha 24. Rated 1316. Never seen Cyber Jake play before, but interested to see how players in this kind of rating range deal with Alpha 24. We're so used to seeing players sort of 1500 plus. It's quite nice to have players with a more sort of middle rank and see how they do and how their tactics vary. We are, of course, keeping an eye on the Cav column in case anybody goes for anything somewhat risky and aggressive at the beginning. Nobody seems to have gone for Cav yet, so we're not looking at raids and rushes just yet. We'll be checking the mini-map as well. Let's move on. In the orange, we have Dula playing as the Persians. Quite a few Persian players in this lineup today. It seems to be Persians are perhaps the civ that people are migrating towards in Alpha 24. They were traditionally known as being a little bit slow and difficult to manage in Alpha 23. Still very capable, very good cavalry. We shall see. I think they are obviously one of the civs with archers that will have experienced a boom in popularity. But every team game I play, at least one person always seems to end up being the Persians, whereas you didn't see them that often before. Yeah, Dula unrated, playing as the Persians. Know nothing about Dula. Looking forward to seeing what they do with the Persians. And rounding out Team 1 on the other flank, playing as the Kushites, it is Raisha, rated 1478. Team 1's big hitter, apparently. I also, as with most of these, I don't know anything about Raisha. I am looking forward to see how they do with the much improved Kushite civilization in Alpha 24. Here we go. Let's have a look at Team 2. So starting on the opposite flank in the, what would you call it? This is the pink, really, isn't it? Now it's the kind of fuchsia pink. Playing as the Morians again, we have Ericsson, unrated. So we have Morians facing off against Iberians over here. This is going to be an interesting clash. We'll see how they get on. What have we got? Ericsson, unrated, so we know nothing about them. They may be an amazing team player and have never done any rated games. Playing as the Morians, as we said, probably arguably the strongest civ since everything got rejigged in Alpha 24. Very interested to see how they do. Let's move along in the green. Playing as the Persians again, our second entry as the Persians. It is Palin, rated 1255. Like I said, I know nothing about any of these players. We have 3 Persian players. I've mentioned Persians before. We will see how the different approaches of all the players who've picked Persians goes down. We have a few players getting Cav now. Palin has got 3 Cav. Looks like they are just hunting, so that's cool. Moving very gingerly towards that hunt. Hopefully we won't get too much lag on this one. It seems to be moving quite smoothly at this stage. Let's move on to our penultimate player in the purple. We have Andre 92, the 92nd in the house of Andre. Also playing as the Persians. Very interested in how they get on. I don't know anything about Andre 92. I've not seen them play much. I've seen them in the lobby. Said hello to them a few times. They are rated 1428. One of Team 2's big 2 hitters here. We have 2 players on Team 2 in the 1400s. We'll have a look at the final one over here. It is Wild, playing as the Romans, somewhat maligned in Alpha 24. But Wild is 1422. So on the flank, facing off against Raisha. So we have an interesting matchup here. There'll be 2 hopefully very aggressive players. But Romans, are they as weak as everybody makes out? Are people just not playing them right? They still have access to all of the siege. They still have very good sword infantry. You can't build the military colony and make siege weapons from it anymore, and that is something of a loss. But are they still good? We shall see. So that's Wild, and that's Team 2. So an intriguing matchup. Let's have a quick look. We've had no deaths or kills registered. Cav, Palin has got 5 of them. I think Palin will possibly be looking, unsurprisingly, Persians known for their cavalry. Looks like Palin may be looking to go for a raid or a rush on someone. It probably won't be on our Iberian player unless they leave loads of women in the exposed areas around it. Anybody else gone in for Cav? Wild and Andre 92 both have 3. And Dula and Cyberjake have 3 and 2. Oh no, Cyberjake has just got his 3rd. So it looks like Eric Rojo, Raisha and Ericsson have just gone with the single cavalry unit they started with. Everybody else has added to them in some degree. But there is a lot of hunt on this large mainland map, as you can see. So not unsurprising that you'd have some contingent of cavalry in there somewhere. Let's have a look at how things are breaking down. We're 5 minutes in already. Doesn't time fly when you've got a lot of players to introduce? Who is leading in the population stakes? It is Ericsson over here on the flank, Morians. So Ericsson has hit a population of 50 faster than anyone else. We're seeing Cyber Jake has managed to pop cap himself just shy of that total. Behind them, Palin has just moved into the lead with 52. Cyber Jake's still pop capped. No, he is still. It's still flashing. What's Cyber Jake do? Has he not noticed? He's got a house coming up. It's Morian houses. They are deceptively, they take a long time to build when you need one in a hurry. In terms of infantry, it's Wild who's got the biggest infantry, only 13. Everybody else hasn't really started producing infantry in great numbers yet. Wild there or thereabouts in the population stakes, but and we've seen Ericsson go for 13 infantry as well. Andre 92 and Palin both have 5 cav units each, but Dula over here in the orange, another Persians player, definitely going in for calves. Got 6 of them, and they have found a big pocket of hunt here, so they're bringing the food in. Naturally, you would expect they're doing okay for Phil. He's absolutely emptied his food stocks there with production. But in terms of big production numbers, Cyber Jake and Wild have got the most units in the pipeline there, so that's going to push their populations up immensely. Andre producing 10 at the moment, and Palin temporarily housed himself. Cyber Jake has housed himself again. What are you doing, Cyber Jake? Build another house. He could be stuck like that for a while. I don't think he's noticed. Okay, there is a house going up at the back there. So, yeah, nobody's fallen foul of that much, apart from Cyber Jake. We have had no confrontations yet. No sign of anybody going to raid. In terms of Cav, it stayed pretty static. Let's have a look how each of the teams are progressing. We'll keep an eye what's going on each one, see what their approaches have been, and who's at what stage. We should also see when somebody hopefully is phasing up. If I've left that setting on from last week, that was pretty good though. It told you when people started the phasing up process. Nobody appears to be anywhere near at the moment. So looking at in the red, Eric Rojo, population of 54. Cyber Jake is flashing again. He's housed himself again. That's incredible. He is starting to fall behind a little bit there as well. But at the same time, Wild has also housed himself, but then just built a hasty house. Okay, so all berries gone, farms, few idle citizens stood around. Here's 5 women. Are they supposed to be building a farm? I don't know if he's noticed. They're moving now. Off they go. Cyber Jake, who has been relentlessly pop capping himself throughout the whole of this game, he's not doing too bad. He's also onto farming, full field, so moderate farming, and we're seeing his cav moving out. We'll keep an eye as to where they're going. There is still hunt here, so they're still hunting. No movements anywhere else. Who's that? Having a look around. That is... Yes. Oh, we have a bit of confrontation here. Eric Rojo and Wild have had a coming together in the middle. So they're chasing... looks like Wild is scouting and Eric Rojo is trying to prevent him from scouting. So we'll keep an eye. We'll see. But somebody has started to phase up. It is Eric Rojo with a population of 64. He has started the phasing up process, so we'll be looking at another 20 seconds. No deaths from that little confrontation. Eric Rowe has stopped chasing Wild, and Wild has gone on to carry on with his scouting. If he runs into these guys, he could be in a bit of trouble here. This horse is in almost full health, but it's going to go quite close to the CC. There are lots of cav here. Nobody seems to be looking at it. There's an elephant not doing anything there for Cyber Jake. Population-wise, it's still Wild who is leading with 87. And we are seeing people starting to phase up now. So Cyber Jake is sending Dula Wood. Raisha has started the town phase update. and so has Cyber Jake. Eric Rojo has reached phase 2, first person to do so on 8 minutes 30. Dula has started to go, but still only Eric Rojo has made it so far. Let's have a look how things are sizing up over here on the other flank. Yeah, there goes Raisha reaching phase 2, and Andre has just started to phase up. Cyber Jake has now reached it. So players in phase 2, we have Cyber Jake, Raisha, and Cyber Jake, Raisha, and Eric Rojo. Still no real confrontation, no deaths. So everybody's been very well behaved. There was that little coming together between Eric Rojo and Wild Scout, but other than that, it's been quite gentlemanly so far, as we see Dula has reached the town phase. So the only people not to, it's all of Team 1 have reached the town phase. Oh, here goes Andre 92, population of 97, 99 now, so he's leading it. I'm always a fan of actually waiting that little bit later to phase up. I like to be somewhere near the magical 100. Gotta say, all of Team 2, certainly Wild, Andre, and Palin, as we see Wild has phased up, or started the phase up. They have got to, well, Wild has actually broken the magical 100. He's got 105 on 9 minutes. But all of those are close to it. There's not much in it. Eric Rojo has fallen behind slightly. I'm not quite clear why that is, because he's made no cav. Andre with the biggest cav still haven't sort of headed out anywhere. We're seeing movements now in the middle. We're seeing Eric Rojo chasing Wild again. And we are seeing, this is Scouted, they're on the same team. So this is Palin checking out what Ericsson is doing. And I wonder if this is just a scouting mission just to see the territory. Almost everybody now, apart from Ericsson and Palin, have reached the town phase. Is Ericsson likely to phase up? Ericsson can press the button but has chosen not to at this stage, and Palin is in the process of phasing up now just as we get the notification. Still no deaths. This is a bit of a slow burner, this one. I think when they do kick off, they're going to kick off massively. It is still... No, it's Ericsson now who's got the biggest population. Still the only player who hasn't pressed go on phase 2. I don't know why. He's not producing anything from the CC. He's got the resources. I wonder if he's forgotten. I don't know. We'll see. He should go, though. He really should. There is a lot of bartering going on. Andre and Cyberjake both raiding the market. So Andre and Cyberjake will both have put a market down. So their phase 2 buildings going up. Eric Rojo, who phased up first, funnily enough, hasn't put any phase 2 buildings down, I don't think. Still only got the one barracks. He's miles behind everyone else's population at 82. Palin has reached the town phase. It is just Ericsson who hasn't. So, interesting. And still no, it's very rare you don't have any kind of a confrontation in phase 1 going into phase 2. Nothing on the flanks. The flanks, they're keeping a respectful distance. It looks like Ericsson is having a brief look. No, he's still picking up food on the border. No reinforcements on the border for the Iberians. All their stuff is at the back here from Eric Rojo. And Ericsson is building out here with, I would expect to see towers soon. He hasn't phased up yet. We've seen some players temporarily pop capped. It's Raisha, who we've hardly looked at on this flank. Raisha still pop capped, has a large concentration of troops. No women there. All the women are over here. No, there's a few there. No, they're nowhere. Oh, yeah, they are. There's 11 back there. And so he's keeping his troops on the front line. We've had a tower go up. So they're just started to look at this border here. We've seen a tower going up for Wild over there. Still no deaths, and we're not seeing Eric Rojo's patrolling with his lone cavalryman in the middle. Here comes Palin. They're going to run into each other. This could be the first fatality if they do stop and fight. They're ignoring each other. Look at this. There's no ceasefire or anything. I was surprised they didn't try and get an easy kill. They might possibly run into problems here with Cyberjake. Cyberjake has ignored them as well. So I don't know if there was an agreement, a non-aggression pact. This looks like an aggressive move. No, it's still hunting for Dula. Wild is up here still scouting. What's going on? I wonder if there were little in-game communications happening here. This looks like a... is this going to be an ambush? It's 2 big calves, 5 each, so it'd be an even fight. I think Palin's just doing a loop-the-loop, just having a look about. Still no deaths recorded. Interesting. Eric Rojo is sending Raisha lots of food. Who is likely to... Ericsson has finally started the town phase, 12 minutes 30. So that is quite late, but he has got an enormous population compared to everyone else, 156. He's also got 109 infantry. Interestingly, Andre's got the smallest, but he has got 21 cav, and they are surely lining up there with bad intentions. I think we need to keep an eye on them. Where are they likely to go? If you rule out the possibility of them, they must know that Eric Rojo's Iberians, there'll be walls, but there may be soft targets above. I would say you can't really rule out anyone. Typically, team games divide up on fight on the flank and then support by whoever's in the pocket just behind them. So that would make the natural target either ganging up with Wild on Raisha or hassling Dula. Now, is Dula still hunting? Dula's still hunting just outside of his territory in the middle. Anybody looking to phase up at this point? Nothing noted. There's lots of bartering going along. But everybody is just working from an infrastructure point of view. We are starting to see a bit of... Oh, we got a confrontation here. There is our first death there. Look at that. Eric Rojo's horse has been murdered by one of the infantry units here building this tower. So first blood to team 2. 1 death recorded. So I don't think Eric Rojo was going for a cavalry-based approach in any way, shape or form. He's definitely not now at the moment. What are we seeing being built outside? Temples built over there, not really reinforcing this front line with any towers. I would have thought putting a tower down somewhere near the front would be significant. He's trying to seal himself in with the secondary wall. We have somebody starting the city phase. It is Andre 92. Let's have a look how he's looking. Andre 92 has done an incredible job getting that many cav. He's got a cavalry of 25, all primed and ready to go and hassle someone. No sign of them actually moving yet. They're not doing any hunting either. There is still hunt quite nearby, so it's surprising that they're not being utilised. Palin's cavalry just seem to be wandering around everywhere and just checking out the lie of the land. I wonder if Palin has gone for the see what your enemies can see, so I don't quite know why he's felt the need to send them on an entire tour of the map. They're heading back north again. Now they're hunting again. Interesting. So we have other players reaching the city phase. Palin has reached the city phase. The first player to do so. So he actually went just before Andre. Interesting. So Team 2, Palin and Andre have both reached the city phase. Everybody's population is in the hundreds. Dula has fallen behind. Dula has got a cavalry. It's a cavalry of 11, but quite a low population of 122. And a low infantry, the lowest infantry in the game, though, even lower than Andre. So it's an interesting time. Are we going to see expansions to the middle before we start to see confrontation? We are seeing... Are they gathering food? They just stood there, I think. So Cyberjake has sent his elephant and some women out to gather this food, but obviously it's not clicked properly. That's a shame. Dula has started the city phase. Wild has reached the city phase. And now his border. We've got palisade walls going up there. So this is, we can see Raisha's building right on the border. It's got an ungarrisoned tower sort of covering this mine and another ungarrisoned tower over there covering next to it. It's going to be difficult, and a tower here as well. So as Raisha goes to face her. So this is quite a well-defended flank. It's a bit open on the sides. Not too many resources. What's... Good grief. Yeah, I don't think Wild meant to build walls there. They're now being taken down. So is this going to be an aggressive act? I think they're being pulled back. Quite a solid flank now suddenly being built. Elephant house, temple, more barracks, and a fortress going up there. So Raisha's gone very much aggressively. Fortress being built on the other side of this as yet unbuilt and still being destroyed before it's even put down. So this was interesting. We've got a lone pikeman who got a bit carried away. Are we seeing any confrontation anywhere else? Still, well, we've had one other death. Doula's has killed someone. Where did that happen? I reckon that might have been a cavalry death. Might have picked off an individual cavalryman. Not sure whose. Yeah, Andre hasn't sent his cav anywhere. Let's have a look at the other flank, because so often these are the first points of confrontation. It looks like Ericsson is building within his borders. He's pretty much made a bit of a kill zone here. We've got an elephant house, 3 barracks, temple. That is a temple. And tower, and another elephant house. So elephants are definitely going to feature for Ericsson. On the other side, we've got a tower at last for Eric Rojo, but it all looks a bit casual over here. More barracks being built. Eric Rojo a little bit behind Ericsson in terms of population. And Raisha has pop-maxed himself. We are starting to see incursions. Oh, I think we could see an incursion here. Wild is hunting and Doula's here. Are they going to run into each other? Still no sign of an expansion at this point. Palin is hunting. Everybody looking... Oh, there's an ominous group of Doula's cav there, just stood there. We're starting to see siege workshops being built. I don't think anybody is... Well, we definitely have a sign of an expansion here. This is Palin who's sending a considerable amount of troops. I think this looks like it's going to be an aggressive move, maybe a CC somewhere around here to put pressure on Eric Rojo. I don't think they're going straight in for some kind of an attack. There we go. So new CC being built back halfway up the map. This will give them a considerable amount of territory here, reinforcing Ericsson on this flank, who I think will probably go for a push. Eric Rojo looks a bit vulnerable on that side. Over here we have some walls, fences and all sorts going up by Wild. It's more defensive rather than aggressive. Has he got he's got a siege workshop. What is in production? Who's got siege? He's got 2 rams. Is it rams? Where are they? Where are the siege engines that he's got? I can't see where they are. Are they in the... Yeah, there's a ram and a catapult already in the fortress. This is a staging post. We have an elephant here. This looks like an attack. This looks like the big push. So here we go. I wonder if anybody has upgraded their troops. It's a big archer fight here. Lots of archers. There are a few pikemen in there, so it's a good mix of armies from Raisha to fight this off. Wild is losing troops at the moment. He's not killed anybody. He has now, but Raisha seems to be fighting off. This elephant has died. Out comes some catapults, and Raisha's having to retreat a bit. He has got a ram. Wild has got 5 siege engines. It's 2 catapults and 3 catapults and a ram. There must be another one coming somewhere. To keep it, yeah, he's keeping 1 catapult in reserve. So he's lining up. There is a fight going on where they're trying to build a temple in the way. In the meantime, just over here, we'll cut back to that. Everybody has become aware that there are buildings going up. Palin has put down a CC. He's trying to build a fortress. He's now fighting this cav from Cyberjake. Cyberjake is losing. He's suffered 9 deaths, so he's lost almost his entire cavalry there. He has no cav, so Cyberjake has had his in that first exchange had his backside handed to him, but finally Andre 92 sending in all of the big cav. How many cav did it? 58 cavalry. That is absolutely nuts. This is a four-way fight here. We have Wild, whose territory it is, fighting Raisha, being supported a little bit by Dula, who has lost twice as many troops as he's killed. He's lost 15. Wild has killed 46 but lost 43. Andre 92 is looking pretty deadly over here. 11 kills for 3 losses. But Dula's sending more troops in here. So this flank, these players, these are the highest rated players in the game. They are duking it out. This is what we want to see. The catapults are firing. I think this is interesting. What is... so Andre's got about 50... Yeah, he's killing at 1.17 at the moment. It's an attritional bloody battle in here. There's another elephant having a go at that fortress. I don't know if Wild has noticed. Will the catapults start opening up on the elephant? It's going to take a while to get through that fortress. They don't seem to know. Oh yeah, there goes the elephant. It's dead. So made a little dent in the fortress, but nothing major. Andre has lost quite a lot of his cav. He's lost 14 of them, but he is still getting kills. Wild is doing well. He has killed 74 for loss of 66, so it's going his way. Raisha, it's 1 for 1 at the moment. He's killed 61, lost 64, so he's holding his own. His rams are coming out now. Has he got much in reserve? Dula is getting a bit of a spanking in all the conflict he's entered. Cyber Jake is coming over with an enormous army now, so everybody seems to be ignoring this flank. Eric Rojo and Ericsson are not really doing too much. I think Ericsson is winding up for a big one on Eric Rojo. And over here, that's a big army from Palin as well. Are they going to go in on Cyber Jake, or are they going to go in on the side on Eric Rojo as well? That would take down that flank. Now, is Cyber Jake swinging the battle over here? There is still... one of Raisha's rams it's attacking a storehouse, which is always a bit disappointing. Has he got troops to take it down? It's mostly slingers. There are spearmen in there. There are some swordsmen. So I don't imagine that ram is going to make any kind of tactical difference. Over the other side, the last bit of Andre's cavalry. Oh no, they're still pretty strong. He's still got 41 of them. They are hassling people over here. They're hassling in the middle. Dula's sending in rams. Cyber Jake has got elephants, but they seem to be getting slaughtered. Cyber Jake has currently lost more than he's killed. Team 1, Raisha's back into the positive. Kill death ratio of 1.1. But a bit of a stalemate over here. If it wasn't attacked by Raisha, it's not really made any inroads. Population-wise, Wild is under a bit of pressure. He's got the lowest population at the moment. He's been reasonably successful at holding this off. It's been supported, but possibly things are starting to go a little bit amiss here for him. But the main focus at the moment, we are seeing Palin going in heavily on Cyber Jake, and an enormous army by... an enormous army of Ericsson's. He's got no siege, so it's all infantry. Interesting that he's just positioning himself here. Are they going after Cyber Jake? Cyber Jake, I think, is going to have to pull his troops back. He has put down a CC in the middle. He's got a lot of idle troops, and he's still an active part here. The catapults are going off, but the sheer volume of Cyber Jake's stuff, it's elephants and an enemy Ramford Dooley is coming through. They are putting Wild under a bit of pressure, and there is a combined sort of infantry effort there. So Wild pretty much on his own, facing Cyber Jake, Raisha, and a ram from Dula as well. There is still a bit of Andre 92's cav left, but possibly they might have swung the balance. Wild's population hasn't dropped below 150, but it is still the lowest. Let's have a look, see how things are going over here. Dula is reinforcing Cyber Jake because Cyber Jake is involved in the fighting over there. Nothing's got near CCs or sensitive buildings, but this army are tough. It's an incredible army of archers, mostly, with one Persian immortal in there. Dula is sending troops over. Dula still losing at troops at an incredible rate. Palin has been killing at an incredible rate. 91 93 and counting kills for the loss, so only 24. So currently a kill death ratio of 3.6. This group of archers are deadly. These little groups attacking them, this is just going to get you killed. So these guys are significant. Over here, we are seeing the enormous infantry of Ericsson going in on Eric Rojo. Eric Rojo has only got 1 kill to his name, has lost 10. He's also lost his tower, didn't garrison it, and that's now been garrisoned with 8 troops by Ericsson. You do not want an Iberian tower, a tough tower like that, firing at you in your own territory. So, and they've lost a barracks as well and a temple. That is a disaster for Eric Rojo. He has tried to launch a counter-attack with rams and a considerable amount of infantry. They may even get through and take down the CC, because all of the infantry here of Ericsson is up here fighting and capturing this little bit. So interesting. Could be a sucker punch here. It looks like Dule's coming around and is going to attack Palin, and where it hurts while Palin is patrolling up here. So it's been all categorized by people attacking another area and then people sneaking in and attacking them while they're not there. This has been quite successful. 3 barracks captured, and they're starting to get destroyed now by Eric Rojo. So Eric Rojo, you might have thought he was a bit of a sucker for letting this territory go over here, but I think he's kind of balanced it out. He's certainly getting more kills now. He's still in deficit, but he's doing okay. He's pulling back now. I don't know why he didn't just send the rams straight in on the CC. Oh, they are now at the bottom. He's got so many rams. I didn't realise he had 7 siege engines at that point. Let's see how the other battle is going at the moment. Wilder's having to pull his siege engines back. He is sort of struggling a bit. His population's down to 125. He needs to unpack these catapults, get them firing. But the combined infantry force of Raisha, assisted by the little bit of archers from Cyberjake and the rams coming in here, I think Wild's under a bit of pressure. He could do with more support from Andre. Andre really could do with getting himself an infantry, to be perfectly honest. He has got an infantry of 78 and they are required. Palin, on the other hand, has come back. He's realised his CC has been pretty much mashed up. Its fortress is holding the territory. I don't think he's going to be back in time to save it. And over here, the rams, have they all been cleared out, or are they moving on? Yeah, we missed it. It looks like all of Eric Rojo's siege engines got wiped out. He must have got his infantry back in time. There is a bit of damage detected on that CC, but if they'd started bulldozing that when they had the chance, that would have been that CC gone. I think that was a bit of a cameo for Eric Rojo's. Losses have been incredible. We must have missed a slaughter there. He's down to a population of 61. He's in enormous trouble, and I think Ericsson now is going to come back. He's got an elephant of his own. So I think it's not looking good for Eric Rojo. Palin's still here. He's sorted out the mess that he found himself in, fighting a little attritional battle. Cyberjake has survived that little run through. Dooley has got a siege engine a bit isolated. Cyberjake has still got a presence here. How is it looking for Wild? Have they reached... They fought them back. He's made a good stand there. He's got his remaining catapults. There's all of them there firing in tandem, so they're taking out a lot of people. But Wild has taken some losses. Yeah, he's in deficit in terms of losses. I don't think he's going to be able to hold this out too much, and I don't know if Andre is going to be able to support him. He's sending small handfuls. He has now actually put in 36 archers, and they are fighting it out with this group of archers. At least that's taking the emphasis off. So it'll be quite an effort if they manage to fight this off. Wild's population is back up over 100. Eric Rojo trying to rebuild. Palin, I think, is going to... he's reasserted himself here. I thought he was heading back. Where is his big army? They're building a new CC even closer to Cyberjake and Eric Rojo's territory. And it looks like... Ericsson is now... keeps sending the elephant up, teasing, keeps trying to send them up to the tower, but the elephant, yeah, the elephant's taking a few hits. There's other elephants there. I think he needs to make the big push. Maybe he's waiting for Palin to get in position to support a bit more. Cyber Jake has got an elephant house there, but nothing coming out of it. He's just recapturing territory that he'd lost. And what else have we got over here? Dooley has been quiet, still very much in deficit in the game in terms of kill-death ratio. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he actually makes a bigger impact on this. So far, everywhere he's gone, he has helped, but he is still very much in deficit as a killing force. The main killer at the moment is Ericsson, who's just been slaughtering most of Eric Rojo's army. Eric Rojo has got it back up to a population of 100. Wild is still holding out, but you would have to say he is still very much under siege. Got some elephants that are dying here. Raisha cannot get through. Cyber Jake has stopped pretty much here. It's all Raisha now holding these out. Small advance sort of contingent from Raisha. Raisha has... He's got 8 champion units. I'm assuming those are elephants waiting to be unleashed somewhere. There's one elephant there. Let's see if we can see the breakdown of his army a second. Let's have a look. So Raisha's got... he's only got 1 elephant. He's got 5 priests, 13 champions somewhere in there. We'll have to see what his champions are. It looks like they could be noble archers. Are they champion archers? I think so. So it's got super archers. It's fighting to a bit of a stalemate over here. Palin is winding up for a big one again on Cyber Jake. They try to take down all of his elephants. They're having to retreat. Cyber Jake can't get out of the pocket at the moment. But over here, the elephants are into Eric Rojo's base. Eric Rojo down to population of 95. Huge deficit in terms of kills, and this CC is about to go down. There doesn't seem to be much that Eric Rojo can do. Where are his troops at the moment? Are they hanging out outside of the base? There goes the CC. Eric Rojo in a bit of trouble, it has to be said, as his losses continue to mount. Not really being supported by any of his teammates because they're all being tied up. It looks like Doula's coming up with another big infantry. They're arriving in dribs and drabs. They are going to face this big archer contingent. There are immortals and 88 archers. This is a death sentence if they can't get in close. As soon as these guys start firing, there are rams though. He has taken out another CC, so once again Palin's been caught unawares. How could you not see 4 rams coming? Every time he builds one there, it gets taken down. So Dooley he's certainly good at knocking over buildings. Let's have a look over here. There is now a big wide path to this CC, but Raisha just cannot get troops through. He has been killing at a rate of 1.5, so he's obviously had some success here. But the siege engines can't get very far. They have taken away the fortress. Wild is down to population of 120 again, so his population stabilizes, then coming back up. He's doing well to hold out, but this is very much a holdout. Andre he's been contributing, but he's also at a deficit. 153 kills for 245 losses, and he's sending in small groups and they're getting taken down. What Wild needs is a big army, and in comes a ram now. Nobody seems to have noticed it. The catapults are shaping up to try and take it down. It's trying to break down this run of barracks that are around there. Maybe it'll stop Wild from resupplying quite as fast, but that barracks is coming down. That ram has hardly been touched. Surely it will go straight in on the CC at this point. We're seeing Eric Rojo's down to a population of 66. Where are that population? I'm not sure where they fled to. They're over there. They're trying to build a new CC in this neutral territory here. There's nothing to attack them immediately, but Ericsson just seems to be content to leave his enormous army in here shooting at the walls. push on, support somewhere else. It looks like Palin has taken a bit of a pasting here. He's still got a big, he still has got a big contingent of archers there. They are killing with reckless abandon, but he is taking a few more losses just because everybody is piling in on him. Dooley and Cyberjake are both going in on him. Has he's got champions, he's got no siege whatsoever, so it's an infantry-led approach. He's been totally excised from this area. He's lost all of his buildings to Dooley's rams, and Dooley's rams are just sat there. They're just waiting to go in case they needed to get. Every time he builds something, it's just going to knock it over. Andre has expanded and got CC here. Hadn't noticed that go up. And Ericsson's army are on the move. Where are they going? They seem to be content to stand in the shadow of this garrison tower and take out walls again. This is disappointing. There is still... No, there is nothing in there, really. There is a little thing of red territory, but it's just loyalty held over from there. He should be going around here and smashing him up. I don't understand why he's not. Eric Rojo's got a siege engine out, so he could sneak one in here and possibly try and cause a bit of damage to Ericsson's base. I wish Ericsson would be more aggressive. It's all archers. Is it all archers? There are only 4 spearmen. There are a small amount of cavalry, and there is... I'm not sure that's the hero. But it's a big contingent, but... Has Palin been completely wiped out from here? His population is down to 108. What's he doing? Has Palin stopped playing? Or is he... there's still production, but it looks like his attack there ran out of steam, and he's just regathering armies now. Big production at the moment is Dula. You've got to say Dula has done very well at re-equipping and resupplying and reproducing this army that keep getting slaughtered. They have been killed quite numerously. Over here, Wild has lost his CC, so the CC has gone. Wild's in a bit of trouble. Population down to 112. His infantry are still trying to fight it out. But are they building a new CC somewhere? I don't know if there is neutral territory over here to build it, or they try to build it in the same place. They seem to be a bit lost and not quite sure what to do. There is a lot of Andre's troops and a lot of Wild's troops there, but they've made the difference. They've lost that CC, Wild, and Raisha, I would say, has got the drop on him a bit. But it's still a very attritional situation. There is still fighting going on here. Small groups. Who's that? Wild has resigned. So Wild has decided to resign, and now his neutral troops are attacking Andre. That's a lot of troops to suddenly turn neutral. I think Wild was... Well, you don't want that when your teammate just chucks the towel in while he's got an army of over 100, because they start attacking everybody else. So Andre now has to deal with a neutral army. That has significantly compromised Team 2, who are doing pretty well. They were, but I don't know if they've got a team plan for this. I suspect we're up to 30 minutes. We've lost one of our players. Cyberjake has got a good fitting in the middle of the map. Dooley's got lots of siege, although not making too much of an aggressive step. Palin just seems to be, his one game plan seems to be sending huge amounts of infantry, building some buildings here, and then having them knocked down by Dula. And Ericsson seems to like safety in numbers, but really, he doesn't seem to want to sort of diversify from this area where he was at. Yeah, he could, well, he hasn't got enough resources to put a CC in the middle of the neutral territory over here. How many siege engines has Eric Rojo got? He's still got population now, is going back up to 80. Raisha, I think, is building up for a big one. He's coming in now on Andre. This doesn't look good. Andre fighting a whole load of neutral troops who are left over from Wild, who resigned completely prematurely, in my opinion. He's still got a catapult firing, so that is of no help to Team 2 whatsoever. I can't believe he did that, really. He just bailed at that point. So, yeah. it's made the task all the more difficult for Team 2. Although you would have to say they've got an advantage over here. If Palin and Ericsson got together like they are doing now, they should be able to knock over Cyberjake here. If they could get siege engines around the side, but at the moment you can't discount the fact that they haven't killed off Eric Rojo. He is still here, and he's grown his infantry to a dangerous amount. Cyberjake has been pretty dangerous throughout the game. He's now very much in the positive as far as kills goes. He's coming up against the two deadliest armies so far, but the losses they've taken for the territory they've captured has been relatively small. The big breakthrough in this game, if there has been one, has been Raisha's ongoing attempt at forcing Wild to resign, who I definitely think resigned prematurely. We're now seeing Dooley's Rams following up on this one lone ram from they're stalling. Raisha's pulling his back. Dooley's coming in. Dooley's Rams seem to have been far more effective at knocking things over, as we've seen over the far end. So Andre's in a bit of trouble. He is still very much in the deficit as far as kill death ratio. Has lost 400 troops. So has Raisha, but Raisha has killed that many more. He's killed 526, the main killer in this game so far. Lots of siege engines in standby. Raisha, I think he's giving Wild's old territory a wide berth. I can't see that Andre is gonna... Is he going to be able to fight this off? He's about to lose this temple. There are more rams waiting to come in. Meanwhile, over here, Ericsson and Palin with big populations and big armies here. They have dropped Cyberjake's population down to 116. Doula's still up there with 130. But Ericsson, Andre, and Palin have the numbers. Raisha, the only one on Team 1 with more than 150 troops. He is pressing. He is pushing on Andre, but is he going to have to pull back and reinforce his teammates? We will see how good the teamwork is. Absolutely not. He's going to try and crush Andre from the looks of it. Is Andre prepared? He's got no defences. There's no towers. There's a handful of cav. There's quite a lot of infantry. This could be interesting. Raisha really has to win this battle and win it fast. No, he's pulling them back again. So is he now going to support Cyberjake and Dooley? Or Cyberjake is in trouble. Ericsson's built a temple on the... It's very slowly attritional killing with Ericsson. Doesn't do anything quickly. In the meantime, Eric Rojo's got up to a population of nearly 100. He's got a fortress up. He's got some champions in it. He has got another fortress there. So he's more fortresses than he started with. He's got barracks. He's got a wood line. Probably a little bit low on stone and metal, but hasn't built a market. And is not making siege engines. Just seems to be existing there. Just sort of fleshing it out a bit. Palin is going around here and is starting to really cause problems for Doula. Cyberjake probably feels a bit threatened by this. He's lost his CC. He had a presence over here. He doesn't anymore, so we've missed that getting knocked over. Ericsson is now making his move on Cyberjake's base. Cyberjake is in danger. He's just brought out another 10 troops quickly. But look at this, it's going down like a countdown. It went from like nearly 120 to 113, 100. It's dropping all the time. Cyberjake is in trouble. Doula, I think, is also in trouble. Eric Rojo has now not got the smallest population despite being reallocated over there. He's building siege workshops. He's already got one, hasn't he, somewhere? Yeah, so it looks like he's going for rams en masse. Interesting. Palin is really making inroads over this side now. Doula's population down to 133. Cyberjake, I think, is beaten. He has been fought back. Population now under 80. But no sign of any immediate siege coming in. We got an elephant house or anything over here? No, nothing that will knock over the buildings. It is a strangling type victory. He's just forcing them back. Interesting that they haven't gone too much in for siege. Andre and Raisha are finally having their big dust up in the middle here. Raisha still proving to be a competent killer. Andre still in deficit, but it's happening now. These Rams could do with not being in the middle of this conflict. They could do with going around and trying to get at the CC and the temple. It's interesting. There is still, yeah, Raisha's having to raid. Oh no, he's sending food to Eric Rojo. I think Eric Rojo might be planning something here. Has he got Rams in production? Eric Rojo is producing stuff. Has he got a whole nest of Rams waiting to come out? He's got some coming out there, some being built there, nothing coming out there. He has got more here, so I think this is a plan to knock over Ericsson while Ericsson is busy crushing slowly, incredibly slowly, Cyberjake. I wonder if the plan here is to capture this elephant house, make some elephants quick in Cyberjake's territory and kill him that way. Cyberjake down to a pop. No, they've destroyed it, so there goes that plan. Maybe he just does not like siege warfare. I have no idea. Palin's army now somewhat reduced, but have been effective. At killing. He just seems to like make a load of troops, and when they all die, he makes a load more. Another player that hasn't really gone in for siege. It will be interesting to see how much fewer siege engines that Team 2 have made, because they have not gone in for it massively. As predicted, the front approach didn't work. I reckon these Rams are trying to sneak round the side. This is something that Dooley has proved himself. Dooley has proved himself to be quite competent at when it comes to taking down buildings. But at the moment, it's a stalemate in the middle. There's a whole load of archers and a whole lot of cav, and they're taking each other out. Andre's still taking heavy losses. Raisha's still somewhat ahead in terms of kills. In fact, I think he's increased it, but 614. Where are those siege engines going? I think they're going... Is this a combined effort? Are they going in to try and take out... Yeah, it looks like it. I wonder if this could be siege from both sides here. I think there are... However many siege engines there. There's 4 there and another 2 sneaking in this way. There were. Where are the siege engines? They're just hanging around. Another still going towards the target. Cyberjake still exists. He's got population 62, but he's in big trouble. He has got a load of women in the CC, and Ericsson is just carrying on his slow strangulation type walk to victory there. We're 36 minutes in. Palin now has captured. He's captured this siege workshop. He's produced a siege engine from it and is knocking down towers. I think this is about to switch loyalty again. So before this comes out, it's probably going to turn orange. It did, in which case now his own siege engine is taking it down. So that's cost Dula a bit. He's got a ram now raiding through his base and not much nearby that could sort of stop it. His Rams have reached Ericsson's base. Cyberjake is sending Cav the long way around. I don't know what they're going to do. Cyberjake is building a new CC over here, Rojo style. Eric Rojo is now starting to mass his forces, and they're starting to come in on Ericsson. I think Ericsson may be required to call his infantry back. They're scattered. They're capturing infrastructure buildings of Cyberjake's over here. But a huge number of Rams are about to come in and start taking him down. There's an opening there. They should take down the CC. They should be pressing straight in. They're not. They're going for infrastructure building. Send one to the CC, one to this thing. Start taking out all of these barracks. And this one has got to go for the CC. I think he's left it too late because there are now... Yeah, Steve? What are these? Swordsmen coming in. They should be able to stop that ram before it does the damage. They're going to lose a lot of barracks. The infantry are pouring back now. But I don't know if... Yeah, they're going to take down this ram before it gets to the CC. There's a lot of infantry still there. The CC is taking a bit of a hit. Let's get the health bars up so we can see how everybody is doing. Buildings coming down. That is a lot of rams coming in on this CC. I think, although there are swordsmen there, if they focus their efforts, that CC could be going down. A quick look over here. Andre seems to have fought Raisha back to his own border. He's certainly increased the kills. He's still at 0.7. Raisha's still on 600 kills. I don't know if that stopped counting. That seems like ages ago. I'd have thought there'd been a lot more. No, there is still fighting. It's been a pitch battle over there. Let's have a look over here. Are we going to see the CC come down? It's gone. So, fair play to Eric Rojo for being almost knocked out of the game to taking out the CC of arguably the strongest infantry player here. Up here, Cyber Jake's base is still there, and this is interesting. It looks like the big infantry now of Ericsson are coming in on Dula, who is trying to commit his infantry to the front, but isn't seemingly aware that there is this big force coming in. They're just killing female citizens nearby. It's all gone a bit strange. There is no... Palin has built another base in the middle. I don't know if Dula's got any more siege engines he can throw at that. He's been quite successful at knocking his buildings down. But Ericsson's in trouble. I mean, he has still got population max almost, but he has pretty much lost his entire infrastructure. He has a couple of barracks over here and a... I wonder if they're going to start losing loyalty. I don't think they are. He's got a temple over there. He's got some occupied territory here, but his ability to produce anything has completely gone. Cyber Jake's base, I think, Cyber Jake's population has dropped. Yeah, has he lost control of a CC? I'm not quite sure what happened there. The territory seems to have gone. I wonder if that is... are we seeing any resignations? No, we've lost all that territory. So Ericsson's in a bit of trouble. Cyber Jake we knew was in trouble. Dula and Eric Rojo. It's interesting. Andre's still fighting with Raisha. They fought each other to an absolute standstill here. They've not made any ground on each other whatsoever. Something's going to have to give. I think it will be if Dula resigns and if Cyber Jake can't rebuild. They're not showing any positive signs of it. Both populations of under 100. I don't think Raisha can do this on his own. If one of those goes, even though Ericsson has lost his infrastructure, he still has a working army of an infantry of 188, and they are killing stuff everywhere. They're now coming in on Dula. There's nothing there that Dula has got to kind of stop them. They will get lots and lots of kills. Dula still massively in deficit in terms of losses. Who's got siege at the moment? Eric, Rojo, and Raisha and Palin are the only ones with siege. Is Palin also going in on Dula now? If they cripple Dula as a fighting force, then it's basically a tiny force of Cyber Jake, a small force of Eric Rojo, and a diminished army of Dula, and the only person with anything like a full strength army will be Raisha. They will start to wear them down. I would say this has swung in favour of Team 2 quite massively now. Can Raisha make a breakthrough? If he gets through Andre 92, I just don't think Andre 92 is going anywhere. He seems to be able to hold off anything that he's got. He's just throwing wave after wave at this, but it's not quite enough. It's like a lone ram is not... I mean, he did take down Wold this way when it seemed quite hopeless and he was being supported. Eventually he got through. It was a victory for persistence. Dula's still got his base, but he's being massively occupied by this infantry of Ericsson. Paler's coming in. It's a bit of a pincer movement here. You don't want to be Dula right now. Eric Rojo has he built on his successes? He sent some horses.
Yes, he
sent some cav out to hassle Andre. That might possibly prove to be a distraction. Where are they going? Are they just going to try and kill anything they find, or are they going to try and capture things? There's CC here. So Andre has really bedded himself in this area. He's pulling them back because he knows there's something going on. Will he pull too many troops back and fall prey to a sucker punch from Raisha? Not sure. In the meantime, Ericsson still seems to be happy to be a Civ without a CC. Population has dropped down to 176, but the majority of his army are over here. Where are they going? Are they just chasing after one unfortunate?
Yeah,
No, are they coming in to try and capture the CC? Could really do with hero and rams and all sorts. There are rams now coming from Palin, so I think Doula's in trouble. Population, lowest population in the game now, 69. Cyberjake gradually getting his population back up, building lots of houses, but is not the fighting force that he was earlier. And over here, Raisha's on the move. Has he realised things are going south in the middle? Is he going after Palin? I think he is. Now that opens the door. If he's going that way, that opens the door for Andre to come in here. However, if he's coming south with this, he's going to run into Andre again. I think Andre has got this. Doula's sending his women out to safety. That suggests he is expecting to have to give up his CC. I'm not surprised. There is one ram now coming in, but there are two big armies knocking on the door. So they've done to Doula pretty much what they did to Cyberjake. What does Raisha do? He doesn't seem to know which way he wants to send them. I get the feeling that Andre will probably strike if he realizes that which way is Raisha going? Is he trying a flanking maneuver? Is he going to come down and across, trying to attack this group? This is the largest group. They just seem to be changing formation. There is a fallback. There's a lot of cav there. He's got 65 cav. This could be their decisive battle, but I think it will end in stalemate again. The elephants are going around the sides, trying to move the infantry out of the way so we can come in and attack. It's a whole fortress here with a load of cav inside. So these elephants, they're not going to get anywhere near. Over here, Doula's base is still standing. Ericsson's taking the very, very long-winded march around. Somebody's probably going to resign here from Team 1, and that will be the end of it. That said, if Raisha can get through, I think if this fails for Raisha, then the writing's on the wall. Oh, yeah, Raisha has resigned. He just felt he was not getting through there. So Andre 92 has fought above. Eric Rojo has resigned. It was a good cameo and fight back at the end. Cyberjake is gone, and we're just waiting for Doula to chuck the towel in. Come on, Doula. Yep, there we go. That's the end. Okay. So Team 2 won it despite losing Wild quite early on. Interesting tactic. It was very attritional, that game. Let's have a look at the stats and see what we can glean from it. Scores wise, Team 2, nearly 10,000 points clear. Score of 71,368, a very good score. 60,281 for Team 1, not a bad score at all. They were pretty much held up by the aggressive efforts of Raisha, who has, I think, top scored in the entire game, probably down to his kill-death ratio, but he could not get through Andre 92, who just put up a very stout defense. Let's have a look at how things shook down in the old kill-death ratio. Ericsson, far and away the top murderer, 3.36. Killed anything that he fought. Was not a bit of a monster with Siege. He did knock over Eric Rojo and reduced his ability to attack. Eric Rojo came back with Siege later on, but by then Ericsson was a mobile army and he was just killing things. Basically, if you kill all the infantry, it doesn't matter how many buildings or CCs you've got nobody there. So it's a slow march to victory for Ericsson, but solid. He never looked in any trouble, even when he was losing his infrastructure. His plan was to knock things over and to capture things and kill people. Palin did much the same, barring the loss of about 3 CCs in the middle. He was quite lethal in places. And Andre, interesting. I thought although he was supporting Wild early on, Wild did quite well to hold out for so long. When he failed and resigned, when he still had a population of over 100, and then his neutral troops started attacking Andre, I thought Andre was in trouble, but he absolutely held out from the most attacking intentions from Raisha. Raisha did well to break his way through Wild and Andre's defenses. He got through Wild and he broke his spirit, but he could not get through Andre 92. But we're going to have to look for a player of the game, and it's tricky. I think it's going to have to be a two-way tie for me. For his aggressive play, for his aggressive infantry work, I'm going to have to go with Ericsson. He took down Eric Rojo's base, took down Cyberjake, effectively crippled him, and was going through Dooley. So for largely killing the population of 3 civs, I think I've got to give it to Ericsson. Because I'm gonna have to give it to Andre 92 as well for holding out on an attack from the best player on paper in the game. Raisha probably could have expected one of his attacks to go through Andre 92. If he was supported in numbers by Cyberjake Adula, he might have managed it, but they were fighting their own battles by then. He just did not quite have enough to get through. Their stalemate continued, but it was down to very much the stout defense from Andre 92. So I'm going to give it as a split between them. Andre 92 and Ericsson are players of the game. I think honourable mentions to Palin for his attacking exploits, and honourable mentions to Raisha for holding up that side of things. Cyberjake did contribute to Wild quitting, but then he just did not have the defensive capabilities to keep Ericsson out. Overall, although it was quite a scatty back and forth and largely attritional game, I think Team 2 deserved to win it, and congratulations to Andre 92. Thank you very much for submitting that game. It is one of the more curious ones that I've covered recently. It wasn't like an all gung-ho knock over all these civs and massive charges and walkovers and everything. It was quite tactical and slow and steady, but with big numbers and upgrades, won the day. Congratulations to Team 2. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to be notified of future episodes. If you'd like one of your matches featured on the show, see the video description of how you can submit your replays. And if you can't wait for the next episode, then why not check out these playlists in the end titles for more replays, commentary and tutorials on 0 AD Newbie Rush. I'll see you in the next video.